My landlord got not exactly what he deserved, but it sure was a rough ride for him. I had a landlord who was pretty absent. I lived in this building, a high-rise, like 20 stories, for 10+ years. He, despite living next door to me, was absent and cold personally but cool enough. Rent was good. Our agreement was never bother him about anything unless it's an absolute emergency. Shower head wonky? Go buy a new one. Fridge breaks? Get it fixed, or dude, just buy a new one. Take it out of what you pay in rent. Lost the receipt? I don't care, I know more or less what a fridge costs, just take it out of rent. Finally his wife decides she wants more rent, wants to rent the place out as an office, not legal, and wants us out ASAP. I agree to move out a month early and get a month's rent back plus deposit. Complete 180 on their part. The place is ruined. Can't give you shit until you fix all this stuff. 2 main things. My cats did scratch up the leather legs of the dining table, and the pull-up bar made 2 dents in the door frame of the kitchen, which was quite nice hardwood. They come to me with this list of tons of stuff like, oh, you hang a photo frame here, this tile is slightly chipped. This is the busiest work time of the year for me, but I'm trying to be cooperative. Sure. I got the table legs re-leathered. Spackle the photo frame wall hole. Can't do anything about the door frame, take it out of deposit. Patch the tile. Like dozens of little everyday wear and tear things, like you want me to change the window screens? These are all new screens and in nicer shape than when I moved in. But I did them all, I trusted the guy. Gotta get my money. At the end, he should have been giving me 24k RMB, pound 2,500. He gave me 5. I still need to use the money to fix all that stuff. If you can't accept the 5, I can't give you anything at all. I was super pissed off but took the 5. Now, people in the building are gossipy. I don't participate, but I did tell this one older lady about my frustration. She told everyone. The wife went from being the star of the mommies group of the building to nobody wanting to talk to her. People shunned the guy too. I originally told them I was planning on moving to another city, but an opportunity came up and I ended up renting a similar unit in the same building. So they thought they could just screw me over and not have to see me, but now they still did. Often. A year later, the office calls me with some question about how to do something with the floor heating. I go, door frame is not fixed, still has dents. I call the guy like, what the hell, man, and he tells me to mind my own business. 5 years later, I see the light at my old place is still on at 3 a.m. That's odd. I go to check, the door is open, and the place is just trashed, ruined. Cabinets broken, stuff on the walls, lazy landlord. And the dents on the kitchen door frame are still there. So the guy never fixed anything, just kept my money. By this time smartphones were popular and we had a chat group for the whole building, so about 500 people. I took pictures and posted everything. Apparently he had also nicked these people's deposit, and there was a huge ruckus when they trashed the place, cops called. All these people chime in with complaints and pictures. People smoking in the hallways, leaving leaky rubbish outside the front door, videos of people using foul language in front of children, dirty footprints. He got fined a lot for 1. Creating a public disturbance 2. Degrading the quality of the living space 3. Illegally renting a residence as an office, and to top it off, the building management wouldn't grant him permission to have workers in to fix the place, so it sat there empty for like 6 months. The fines were big, too. Take 1.5 months rent from me, lose a year's rent. Suck it, bro. Update. I may not have been clear enough. I kept tabs on these people for 5 years, compiled all the complaints people had. They weren't upset about the place getting trashed. They were upset about things like years of cigarette butts in the hall, and also had pictures. Put all my pictures and theirs together and wrote reports to relevant authorities. SAIC, State Administration of Industry and Commerce, can't have an office here. Local Papa, also, can't have an office here. Tax Bureau, gotta pay tax on rental income, and I knew he didn't. I work with publishing, am good with Adobe Illustrator. Those reports, I am proud to say, were professional grade. Full color pictures, screenshots, transcripts, printed on nice thick paper. I'll take the criticism from the likes of you/turtlesandwich0 and you/vacuous intent, but I stand my ground. I combine my sneaky investigative skills, document creation and layout skills, which I literally do professionally, and social organization skills to gather evidence on this fucker, turn some chat group drama into a bomb-ass report, and get his ass fined like a mofo. I'd argue it was pro, but admittedly quite petty at the same time. Story 2. Got rude guy arrested for suspended license. In the mid-2000s, my friends and I would frequent a small billiards place in a neighboring town where you could rent a table by the hour or play per game. We'd play a few games, watch whatever sports were on TV, and have casual conversations. There were no problems and no drama until about 3 months of us visiting this place. A guy shows and takes our spot at the billiards table. No big deal. We were all chatting anyway. 20 minutes later, my friend lets him know we want to play next game, and the jerk is super dismissive. Needless to say, we didn't get in during the next game. So I politely let him know we wanted to play next. Another lady chimed in she wanted the game after us. The guy blatantly ignored me and the other woman. Some more time going by and the guy leave the table. We see our chance to get in. We put the quarters in and the balls are dispensed, except the green 6 ball. The guy took it to the bathroom with him. At this point, it was ridiculous, and we notified the manager. The manager noted it was 12:30 and they were going to be calling last call and closing, so he didn't want to make a scene by kicking him out. He gets us another ball so we can play. The guy comes out of the bathroom and knows we realized what he did. He smirks and proceeds to the patio to have a cigarette, bringing along his beer and the green billiard ball. The guy comes back in and tossed the ball he was holding onto the table, hitting a few balls on the table and messing up our game. He goes up to the bar just in time for last call. One of the friends I was with suggested we follow him home and each call the highway patrol to report a suspected drunk driver. 3 of 4 of us agree. So when he leaves, we used our trusty Nextel push-to-talk phones and coordinated several calls to the police. We provided details like license plate, vehicle make and model and color, and mentioned the car nearly hit another vehicle, was swerving between lines and driving erratically. This was under a 15-minute plan. We had no idea where the guy lived but suspected it was close as he was visiting a neighborhood place, so our time was limited. The one guy who didn't notify the police tailed the jerk and called us giddy when a police officer pulled between him and the guy and turned in his lights to pull him over. The police blotter that week included an arrested of a guy who was pulled over after multiple calls of erratic driving. He wasn't arrested for DWI but instead for driving on a suspended license. TLDR. Guy was a jerk at a local billiards club, so we got him pulled over by the cops and he was arrested for driving in a suspended license. Comment 1.
A. Nextel Direct Connect.
No way to shut it off. I had tried to explain this to my wife numerous times, but it wouldn't sink in. She'd hit the button and, without waiting for a reply, just start saying whatever was on her mind. I was an exec for a big retailer at the time and on a store visit when she chirped me. As she had just gave birth to our son, I quickly grabbed my phone. As she started talking about the post-birth discharge, she just shot out in great detail to the horror of my sales staff and customers. I opened the lid of a washing machine on display and chucked it in. We switched from Nextel shortly after that. You must have been mortified. I could turn down the volume, but it didn't impact the chirp sound. And there was no way to enable it for certain people and disable it for others that I knew of anyway. Occasionally, random people who were reassigned phones at work would accidentally try to get in touch with me thinking I was someone else. I used to store my phone in an isolated lunchbox while at hold because it was so loud. The battery was amazing though. If I charged it twice a week, I think that was a lot. Comment 2. I was working midnights, had a baby at home, and my wife was back working the day shift. I had baby pretty much from the time I got home from work at 8 a.m. until my wife got home at 6 p.m. I would go to bed at 8 p.m. and get back up at 11 p.m. for work. My buddy decides at like 9 p.m. to hit the alert button before pressing the talk button. This would send a loud triple beep every 15 or 30 seconds until you cleared it. I got him back that night at 3 a.m. He always charged his phone downstairs in the kitchen back then, so he had to get out of bed and go all the way downstairs to clear it. He had the audacity to get pissed at me.